Hello everyone, Gomez here for the LAN channel. We have absolutely no idea what we're going to be seeing, but hopefully seeing another champion. They were kind of what was assumed to be Pantheon's followers yesterday, so let's get in and see what the hell we've got today. Okay, so it does look like we're going to be getting Pantheon. Bait and switch, everyone said it was going to be Yuumi, or at least Skillboy Roy said it was going to be Yuumi. It looks like it's going to be Pantheon, and obviously we saw his followers yesterday. Let's see what the hell he's going to be today. Let's do this.
Today we see.
So he's got the new fated keyword, which obviously we got to see yesterday with some of the things. So whenever he's targeted each round, the first time he's targeted, we're a buff that he gets granted +1/+1. But he's a 4-mana 4/2. But because he's got fated, it does kind of make sense because every single round, all it takes is a buff, and he's gonna be granted an additional +1/+1. He comes down with a barrier, so immediately that means that the second he goes down, he can't be targeted. If you've got 1 mana or so, like this is Targon, gems are a thing, so you can immediately put a gem on top of him, increase his damage, but that will also increase his health because of the fated, and then can go crazy off of that. So actually, although you're seeing that 2 health stat, because of fated doesn't necessarily mean that, and so the fact that Pantheon's also got Overwhelm is quite devastating. So what's his thing? You've targeted allies 5 times in 5 different rounds. So rather than, like, yeah, again, he doesn't have to see this happen. This is why he's going to level in the deck, whereas Taric requires him to be on the board and see these things happen. You like targeting somebody or supporting 7 times. Pantheon just says, like, you've targeted allies 5, which in 5 different rounds. So it's kind of, in a manner of speaking, like Sejuani and Gangplank, in that you've got to hit the Nexus on 5 different rounds. On this one, you just got to buff people in 5 different rounds, which can be easily doable, and potentially, I don't know, my mind instantly goes to Draven, with Draven's, which it's spinning axes, because Draven's axes cost 0 and still count as a buff. So my mind is thinking this, but there is like so many different routes you could take with him. Let's see what else we've got going on with him. And also, I want to see that magnificent level up animation. That's key, right? So fated, yep. First time each round that allies, like you target an ally, blah blah, +1/+1. Which is why that 2 health is not the worst, and also why that is quite a devastating drop. Ooh! We'll see what that spell is at the end. Look, so it looked like stun. It looked like stun an enemy with potentially a buff. We've seen this one. We saw yesterday with like the buff thing. So that's what I mean. His health has suddenly gone like massively up.
Immortality is a lie.
Immortality, take it. It's yours, Taric, which obviously is something to do with targeting, so I can kind of see why they're paired with Taric there. I just want to see some more cards. So yeah, that is that card. It's not a new card, ladies and gentlemen. That is a card that's been in the game for so long, and everyone just forgot it was a thing. The slow speed buff to people, but it does include the art of the follower that Taric is just buffing there in that. So we were kind of like shown this was going to be a thing in the past.
Are you ready to destroy?
I just want to see the level up. Just show me. Just show me. Oh, the Earth! I mean, it looks like the Earth, but obviously it's Runeterra. Okay, like it's been too much. I need to pause and see. So 4 mana, 5/3 now, obviously with the things. When I'm summoned or level up, grant me a random keyword for each round that you've targeted. So, so basically, Pantheon becomes the one from which the arsenal, right? Because it is when I'm summoned or level up, grant me a random keyword for each round you've targeted allies this game. So literally, all it means is just gems, Draven's axes, like anything which is just doing buffs each and every round that you're doing it. So say, like, well, let's face it, when he levels up, his level up condition is that you've got to target within 5 different rounds. So he's already going to be given 5 different keywords, which he already has Fated and Overwhelm. So those keywords get taken out, which means that, like, you know, obviously he could stack up on Impact, so it'd be amazing if he drops some levels and gets given... It says random keyword for each thing, so if he gets the stackable keyword of Impact, he just gets that 5 times and nothing else. But obviously, elusive, all the different things that my mind can't think. Spell Shield, like there's Lifesteal, like so Pantheon can actually get Lifesteal, and considering the fact that he's Fated and means that his attack can go up, like giving him Lifesteal is just gonna be so stupid. But you know what, I'm loving this, but also it scares me. Pantheon scares the pants off of me in terms of what he can do. What's also important to remember is when summoned, and I believe his thing was just targeted, right? Fated is, or like his level up was targeted. The reason why I just want to clarify that, you've targeted allies in 5 different rounds. I literally only wanted to clarify that because does that technically mean that you can use, I can't think of the name, like Shadow Isles. If we went down a Shadow Isles, I mean, I still love that animation of like him smashing him from Earth. If we were to use Shadow Isles and to use Faded Memory and cards like that, but then use Rekindler or whatnot to restart. Basically, what I'm trying to say is a spooky Pantheon deck in Shadow Isles could potentially be ridiculous if you throw down a Rekindler, like say you let him die, throw down a Rekindler, then like, you know, summon the Rekindler again through what's his face, because it would technically be targeting an ally to use Splinter Soul, but also using Chronicler, like Chronicler of Ruins, just to kill him, resummon him, so you get like the ridiculousness of multiple Pantheons, because every single time when he's summoned, it's very important that he's got when summoned, he gets these random keywords, and so I can see a very stupid Shadow Isles deck coming out of this. I'm scared. And yet at the same time, he can work anywhere. Like Demacia's got a lot of strike spells. Strike spells work with Fated as well and count as targeting. So he could go with dragons in there. He could go just with Demacia and some other champion within there. As a Draven with those 0 mana axe. Like, literally, Pantheon could actually fit in loads of different places. Freljord's got a lot of different, like, targety things like that help get you around certain situations, like Troll Chant or the... Well, I can't think of the name of it right now. The Elixir of Iron. So, it's the fact that you can go mostly anywhere. I think the only place which doesn't have full-on, like, targeting your own unit buffs maybe Bandle, because obviously Ionia's got a bunch of ones where you could target your own stuff with, like, Twin Discipline, and so basically Pantheon can fit near enough anywhere. I'm just trying to think whether or not Bandle City's got a bunch of, like, actual targety buff or target, like, things should be targeting your own units for. I don't think it's got many, but then I just might not be thinking clearly. So, like, the only one I can think of on the top of my head is the one which makes things into a 1/6. That's the only one that can come to my head at this moment in time. Stress Defense. But I love this. Pantheon is amazing and fits so many places. I want to see what his champion spell is, and I want to see what the rest of the cards are that are coming out with him, because, oh look, Lifesteal and Fist, like, it's ridiculous! It's ridiculous! What the hell is this? What was that? What was that animation? Whatever this card is, whatever that card is, what? That has to be the only card that we've seen which drops with... I mean, I'm so confused. I love it all. So this was the card, I believe, that dropped and had the animation. When I'm summoned, if you've targeted allies 6 times this game, grant me. And so then that's when the animation happens of this crazy animation going halfway across the screen and everything. But grant me Spell Shield, Overwhelm, and Challenge, which works perfectly if you're working with a Pantheon deck, just because of the fact that you're targeting things anyway. So you're probably going to be getting this to the point where it needs to be. So devastating. Like, these Targon cards, it's too much. It's too much. So yeah, we already saw this one yesterday. Really powerful card, especially with Fated. this like goes like even more insane. It was a good card anyway, with 3 mana burst speed as a combat trick for two allies, like increasing their damage and their health. But with Fated, the fact that you could target say 2 Fated, and that's going to be an additional buff on both of them, that card now becomes insane. Pantheon is stupid. So where's his champion spell? Am I just missing this, or is against the odds his champion spell? Because normally it says that it's his champion spell. So I'm going to assume that Pantheon's champion spell is against the odds, because it's the one that's next to him, which is if your opponent has more units than you, grant an ally +1/+1 for each extra unit they have. So it's kind of a weird. Like the problem is your opponent's still wide on you, right? At the end of the day, this means that you can at least like increase the damage, and it would work really well on somebody like Pantheon, because it means that he can get more stats that are going in Overwhelm. Is it so stupid to imagine this bringing Fiora back? Is it too stupid to imagine a card like this? Because Fiora decks technically have her as being like the only unit. And so if your opponent goes wide in, say, Bandle or whatnot, would this be stupid to consider Fiora back in Targon? Because Fiora was actually in Targon for a little while before, like, I know, obviously, like, Ionia and what's his face just became, like, the best places to play her. Freljord became, like, one of the best places to play her because of the ability to draw her. But is there a stupid thing of saying, like, you know, some kind of Fiora, because Targon does give spell shield, but more importantly, this is mostly for Pantheon, right? In terms of the fact, like, that it's for his Overwhelm. It's for any champion who's basically got Overwhelm. If you're playing against somebody who's going very bald heavy, which, let's face it, Bandle City, people go bald heavy. But what you're risking here is the fact that with a card like this, if this is Pantheon's champion spell, that's all well and good. You're going to be getting copies of it anyway with the multiple copies of Pantheon. Whether or not you would run this on it like so you're basically making a deck which you know that you're not going to have as many units, and so your opponent's going wider than you, be able to smoke into your core. Targon does have some heals, not as good heals as they used to be in Star Shaping that heals the core for 4, where it used to heal the core for 5. But I don't know, my mind is still thinking about Shadow Isles playing just for the stupidity with Pantheon, but there could be some really good decks that Pantheon can make. His stupid level up of basically being the Arsenal, which was one of the most broken cards when it first came out. I love that he goes down that route. He's already got guaranteed two keywords anyway. So like the pool that he's gonna have to be pulling from is even less. So we've got a 2-mana slow speed spell, Shield Vault. Grant, which I think is what we saw earlier on when, somebody used this. So, grant an ally +1/+1 and stun an enemy. So, it's slow speed, so it's not going to be a reaction thing for if somebody goes for an open attack, but this is actually a really good move for when you are attacking, as well as like if your opponent waits out. So if they're playing Plunder, say, with Sejuani and Gangplank, and they don't immediately go forward, they decide to develop before going forward with Gangplank or somebody to like a leveled up Gangplank. Being able to stun them and also give something +1/+1, plus if it's fated, being able to give it an additional +1/+1 for 2 mana, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's another stun card, which makes everyone think that Yasuo Leona even more, yes! Like, because Yasuo did have some time in Targon with Leona, so potentially calls for that. But the rest of these cards, are the Blinded Mystic we saw the other day, we didn't see this one, but I said, like, basically it's a crazy 6 card, right, where it's gonna be working. If you're playing Pantheon, you might as well play this. It's gonna have Spell Shield, Overwhelm, and Challenge. I wish that it's got a crazy animation as well. I wish that it was a dragon, because it kind of looks dragony, but obviously it's not. It would be funny, like, if this was a dragon in Targon, a 6-mana dragon with these abilities, especially Challenge, because it would then be like the crossover of the Demacian Screeching Dragon, but it might be a little bit too overpowered, so that's probably why they left it. That would have been nice to see. This looks like it's got wings and stuff, but it's a crazy creature nonetheless. And this one I don't think we saw, which is the Freed Colossus, which is 5 mana, 4/5. When I'm summoned or attack, create a gem in hand. So just like more gem synergy for more buff stuff like I can understand. It perfectly makes sense to come out with Pantheon in terms of the damage which is going to be coming out there. But I'm not gonna lie, like we saw these other cards the other day. I'm not gonna lie, it's an amazing set. Like Targon is got a stupid champion coming to it. That's ridiculous, and I love it. And I said like, I'm loving the design of the champions we've been seeing so far. So with Kennen and Pantheon, both champions don't just fit into I only work in this region. They can be used in a number of different regions. Obviously, slowly but surely, it'd be weeded out and work out what the best is, but I love champions that are built around I'm not just this only works in this one deck. Like lurk decks, it only really works in this one deck. Oh, well, the lurk champions of Pike and what's the face, Rek'Sai. I like champions whereby you can put them in a lot of different places and experiment, and so I'm loving these champions so far. I cannot wait to see who else is coming, but let me know your thoughts. What are your thoughts on these cards and Pantheon in general? I'd love to hear them down in the comment section down below, as well as obviously shameless plug time, Twitch, Twitter and Instagram. If you want to catch me live over on Twitch, please feel free to, as well as there's the Discord link down below if you want to get into the Discord and talk about these new cards and different deck ideas and plans. I would love to hear them, but anyway, that's me done for this evening. Hopefully we'll be back tomorrow with some more card reveals and whatnot, but if I'm not, then I'll catch you the day after or that. But thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a great day. If you enjoyed yourself at any point, consider hitting that subscribe button and liking, but do not feel forced. Until next time, goodbye.
Flash of brilliance that could save me. Save me! That doesn't save me. Okay, is there anything from you? Save me. That doesn't save me! Okay. Get rid of this and get rid of this. Find something that can save me.